Woo! Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Just doing a little setup right now. So I just want to say good evening to everybody. We are going to try to get this going. Hey. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Gotta get all this stuff ready for tonight's show. My windows are not behaving. Okay, still there? Okay. Well, I don't know what causes that window to just spontaneously close like that, but that's over with. I'm gonna open. There it goes again. It just won't. It's not gonna behave, is it? I want it to sit there without. Ugh. Why can't these two windows just live in peace together? I don't understand. There we go. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get. I'm gonna close the doors so we can actually talk using a standard volume here. So one sec. All right. Did I bring my drink in? I better get my drink. One sec. Okay, here we go. Yeah. For those of you that watch recordings, I hope that you guys always skip the first 5 minutes or so. Because I never seem to have it ready when I hit record. I just start. That is exactly how we do our show. Okay. Oh, I'll go. Oh man. Okay. Hi. Hey, what's up, Tori? Okay, so let's go ahead and let me show you guys where I'm at in the painting, and then we'll move on. Okay, so before I show you guys these, I did put up some pictures of Clan Ika the other day. So Clan Ika. So these guys, squid head guys, fish guys, very cool, very fun. Had a blast painting these. The little Kaiken. Gotta love that. Gotta love the character of these miniatures for Ninja All-Stars. This may be the coolest miniature in the standard line, in the not Ronin line. There's some really great Ronin as part of this set, but this is gotta be one of my favorites right here. And these I'm not as keen on. They're fun though. They do have an octopus on the guy's hat, and I like that. So anyway, these are done. Clan Ika, the Water Clan. So Water Clan done. That makes clan number 3 done for Ninja All-Stars. There's their standard tune-in. And then where's the other character guy? Who's the other character guy? I think it's a female. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, they're done. And I like them, and they're great. And so 3 down. I need to paint at least 1 more before I can start playing 4-player games, because that's really what I want to do. I want to play 4-player games. I want to play 4-player games, and then, you know, failing that, 2 or 3 players. 4-player, I think, is really where the game can fit with my regular gaming folks. I think it would be a good multiplayer kind of in-between game. And the fact that we can play League and 4-player is pretty awesome. So there's that. So now I'm on to Clan Yamazaru, which is the Earth clan. And their standard color is brown, but I'm going with a more yellow. So it's like, so I'm going with a yellow tone. It's like an orange to yellow tone. And so what you're looking at right now is just the very, very beginning of the clan, which is, you know, airbrush plus the initial wash. But I already really like the color scheme. I'm excited. I think these are cool. These are really cool. Look at the Madokin. Those are really cool. That's going to be fun to paint those. And then where the archer guys. And they're okay. So I had one problem with these Kunoichi. So the Kunoichi is supposed to have this tail here. This one does not have a tail, so I don't know. It popped off or disappeared or something. So no tail on that one. I don't know what I'm going to have to do there. I may have to fill it. In fact, you know what? Let me go ahead and just fill it. I'm just going to fill it with some plastic putty for now. And I'll figure out while I'm painting it what I'm going to do with it. Because I don't know. Based on what I've been doing thus far, I don't know if it's that critical to run 2 Kunoichi. So it makes me a little bit sad that I have to do this, but at the same time, I'm not going to like wait and hope for a replacement part or anything like that. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so put that there. All right. Hello, hey, what's up, David Love? The characters look really cool. Here's the Chunin. He's got like a, you know, it's a lot of like Monkey King themes, so baseball bat type pieces, and then obviously the Oni, which are the big monkeys. So it's going to be a lot of golds and with these, but we're not painting these tonight because this is not exciting painting. What's going to happen next is I'll paint the eyes in and start painting the skin in, and then it just becomes, you know, fill in detail, fill in detail, fill in detail, and then at some point they just finish. So I don't know what's going on with my connection. It's bad. I hope this thing can reconnect me. There we go. Come on. There we go. So wow, connection is not good over on the YouTube side. But so here's Son Goku, and then I forget the name of this character, but this is a really cool looking character, kind of like a Wolverine looking, like a Oni type character. His cloak would probably be black or gray or something like that. Okay, so anyway, that's what's next in terms of the mass painting, the larger project. But like I said, we're not going to work on this larger project tonight. Tonight, I'm going to just paint for fun. And I like the show when we are painting for fun. And I like being able to just concentrate on one mini. And tonight, that mini is going to be the mini that we built last week, the limited edition IU Beat from Relic Knights. Okay, so that's what we're working on tonight. And I'm not doing any airbrushing, at least that I can think of on this mini. I don't. It would be cool. Might be cool to airbrush the axe here. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe I should. I guess it wouldn't really harm us to do that. So yeah, maybe let's do that. Let's just do it, and if I don't like it, you can always just paint over it. So I'm just gonna do one little airbrush thing, and then we'll get on with the rest of the painting. Okay. So anyway, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting tonight. Limited edition IU Beat from Relic Knights. This is an old metal model. You saw the amount of pinning I had to do last week to make this work. We'll take it from there, okay? So we'll do a little bit of airbrush, nothing too big. So let's see, what do I need for airbrush? We're going to use some black gray, and I could use this white gray, black gray, white gray, and then white. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Black gray, and white. So we'll do a little bit of the old, standby zenithal priming stuff. Kick on our compressor here. And let's do a little. Still looking pretty good there. We shoot some water through the airbrush. Let us know what you guys are working on. I'm sure David is working on something. So let's see. There may be more than one David's on, which is cool. Okay, so the old airbrush thinner. I noticed that the Vallejo Model Air black gray is a tricky color. It's often too thick. It's as thick as model color. And obviously you don't want Model Air to be that thick, but that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to thin out. So I might as well just thin this model color, because the model color actually is going to cover a little bit better than the Model Air does at the same consistency. Let's see. Just finished my German Stug assault gun for bolt action. Now assembling Harbinger for War Machine. Sounds cool. Okay. So now we're just gonna. I'm just gonna give this whole the whole base here an undercoat of this black gray. And I guess what I could do is I could even base coat the first layer of skin. It's probably a good idea for how smooth I want this skin to be. Okay, and then we're going to do the guitar, appropriately nicknamed the axe in this case. So my idea is to go, with the standard gray non-metallic on the axe, and then we're gonna use a different color to tint it. Okay, so anyway, I'm just gonna get the rest of the shadow in here. It looks pretty good. Okay. So far, so good. We'll cycle that through. All right, David Left says, what is your favorite primer color? For me, it's gonna be white. I'm an old, before I got into airbrushing, I went through a black primer phase with GW Chaos Black. which is a good primer, by the way. GW Chaos Black is a very good primer. It's expensive, but it's a good primer. I went through that phase where it was like, everyone said, oh, use black primer because it's easier. It's going to help. It's going to be more forgiving of mistakes. And that's true. That's actually a very true statement. Black primer is more forgiving of mistakes. But I moved to white primer for a couple of reasons. One, I was painting mostly light colored armies for 40K. I had a lot of white armies. I had a high elf army for fantasy and a high elf team for Blood Bowl. So when I was in the GW many years ago, I was a white primer guy. And when I moved over to other games like Malifaux and all that stuff, I stayed with white primer because I like to stay in those brighter tones. And that holds true today. So even if I'm airbrushing, I use white. I'll use white primer from Vallejo or their gray primer. Their black primer, I had some issues with adhesion on it, so I'm not totally keen on that. Okay. So anyway, good question. Let's see. Sorry to hear about that. Ran into the same issue a few years ago. Oh, Tori. Oh, with your water leak. Okay. Yeah. I know Tori's been dealing with that water leak in his condo. That's a bummer. I'm in a holding pattern here, to put it politely, in my place here with our kitchen, and it's just a mess. It's a source of upset for me. So I'm trying not to get hung up on it. I got a lot of other stuff to do to be about right now. Okay, so we're gonna go white gray. So this is a pretty big jump in color here. So I'm gonna have to be fairly conservative in how I play this, okay? So push this out. And plus the gray on the steps is still, you can see it's still wet. That's still wet. So wait, right there. That's still wet. So I'm just gonna hit that with a little bit of gray, the white gray. Gonna give it just a little bit of depth. Okay. Just like that. See that? Got a little bit of depth on there. There we go. Or granity. And then so you see that on the blade there? Give it a little tinge of light. Nice. Okay. I like that a lot. That worked out pretty well. Okay. So there's that. So now, I'm going to blow through this. And now we're going to move over to a skin color. Okay. Depends on what. Black primer best for historical miniatures. Depends on primer color. If I'm washing white, I use white, of course. If I paint darker colors, I paint black. Black for historical miniatures. Yeah, I would actually agree with that. Historical miniatures tend to run more muted palettes anyway. And so, yeah, I would agree with that. Darker primer for historical as a gross generalization. I don't think we're not talking about every single situation, but especially if you're doing something like bolt action, saga. If you're doing small, especially if you're doing small scale historicals, 15 millimeters, 6 millimeter black is a good way to go. All right. Let's get some skin down. So that's the wrong color skin. going to do this. So we're going to do basic skin tone, and I want to do light skin. I don't know how this is going to airbrush. I may have to just do basic skin tone, and then actually come back and do all the highlights up. I'll do all the highlights up by hand. Carpet's coming tomorrow on my birthday. Congrats. Yeah, happy birthday in advance, Tori. Hope you have a good birthday tomorrow. Okay. So we're going to airbrush the undercoat layer of skin. And then I think we'll just take a brush to the rest of it. Well, let's try. I don't know. I'm curious. So let's see how Light Flesh airbrushes. I'm not terribly enthusiastic about it, but let's see. So okay. So I just do this without masking. You just a couple of well-placed blasts from the airbrush, and I'm down well below 20 psi. Okay, there we go. So far, so good. Okay. I love painting these, the Soda Pop metal kits, especially Takahashi. Takahashi University, by far, one of my favorite all-time. Ever notice your painting surface area shrinks during a project? Oh, you mean like the fact that I'm working on Ninja All-Stars right now, and working on Ninja All-Stars, and I don't seem to have enough room to work here. Whoa. Uh-oh, that's bad. I better find that cap. Okay. Where did that cap go? Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that. That's the lid to the water that I desperately need, because if I kick that over, then it's just gonna leak water everywhere. And I have been known to kick this bottle over, so I'll put that away for now. It'll show up. We'll paint, and yeah, usually comes back. All right, time to load this light flesh on there. I want to see if the light flesh actually, how that's going to behave. I've never actually airbrushed this color before, so it should be very interesting. So this light flesh is like, it's a really, really pink flesh. It's an analog to Rin Flesh from P3, which is one of my favorite paints of all time. Love Rin Flesh. All right, might be too It's a little too milky. You know, a little more. I need to be just a hair thicker. So I'm just going to add a little bit more paint to it. Thicken it up just a hair. All right, now let's try it. Okay. All right. I like that quite a bit. That's not too bad. Okay. Some proper washing to thin it out a bit. Soften up that edge. I think we're in good shape. Okay. Blow the rest of this out. Good. And we're done with the airbrushing for tonight. We'll go straight into the painting. So that wasn't too bad. Okay. Good. Shut that off. Good, good, good. Okay, looking pretty good. So now let's so now we're gonna focus in on the face and the eyes, and then we're gonna do all the good stuff with the skin. But not too bad. Pretty simple, right? Everything looks pretty cool so far. Take the gloves off. I need cookies. Actually, I don't. I don't need cookies. I need to start eating better. Not been eating well on this. Starting to receive happy birthday emails from all sorts of mailing lists now. Yeah, that'll happen. Okay, so here we go. Let's break out the palette. So how do I do I don't use a wet palette actually. I use a dry palette, and a lot of people, and every time the subject of the wet palette comes up, you know, it's like, why aren't you using a wet palette? Why aren't you using a wet palette? And logically, I should use a wet palette. But I just don't feel like I have the exact control of when my paint's dry that I like to have while I'm painting. That's why I don't use a wet palette. So I use one of these. So now, so what I do is I just, I take two of these wells and I fill them both with water. And that's the water I'm going to use to thin my paints while I'm painting. Okay. I will find that cap one day. If you hear me like shifting around in my chair and all that stuff, that's me just looking around for that. So we are going to paint in. Now we're going to paint in the eyes. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do maybe black gray around the eyes. Well, this is a robot character. So instead of doing like deep brown around the eyes, we're going to do dark gray, and we'll do white, and I'll figure out how to actually paint in the physical eyes once we get them properly outlined. Okay. I hope that's an electronic cheesecake. Thanks, D-Love. Okay. Can be whatever kind of cake you want it to be, I assume, Tori. Okay. So now we're going to take our fine detail brush. I'm going to do Ayubit's face. This is going to be hard. It's going to be a little tricky because you have the axe covering the face, like right where your brush needs to go. And on the camera, it's going to be hard to kind of capture also. But I'm going to do my best. Okay, so first we start with some black gray. And we're going to use that to paint the entire structure of the eye. Okay. And because I've already airbrushed skin, I'm going to be a little more careful than I typically am. Than I typically am with this. In fact, I need like better lighting for this. I'm trying to draw the brush up into a fine point. It can be tricky. Saw a discussion today about sticking the brush in your mouth. I just don't do that. I never have done that. I'm usually okay drawing it into a point using just using the water and whatnot. Okay, and I'm gonna also put a little black there in the mouth. All right, for SETI 52, always happens to me in LOL. All right. So here's the very first stage of painting the eyes. Looks like I might have gone over just a little bit on one side, but that's okay. So now we're gonna mix up some white while that's drying down. And when you do white, you may need to do a couple passes. It's one thing I tell people about white. And then make sure that the white is really thoroughly mixed in. Okay. Like here's my brush with white on it. There's very little like visible paint on it. So for sure I'm gonna have to do 2 passes. And then the other obvious thing when you do this, try to make sure you're leaving enough of that black gray outline around the eye. But you don't want to do too much. I mean, you want that black line to be as thin as possible. You don't want that, you don't necessarily want her looking like a heroin addict or zombie or anything like that. Okay. And get a little white in the mouth for the teeth. There we go. Okay, let me see if I can, well, I'm going to do one more pass on the eyes to make sure that they're nice and bright and prominent. This is an anime-based mini. So if you can follow the sculpt, that would also be great. Okay, feed. Uh-oh. My feed chopping, is it bad? You guys tell me. All right. So here we go. Here's so there's the eyes. It's like I may actually have overstepped a little bit on the eye closest to the camera. So let's go ahead and correct that. There we go. Now it does look a little bit like there's too much on there, but that's okay. We'll fix that. Okay, so now I want to put dot the eyes. And I want to try to do a different eye color just to see if it will actually make a difference. So I'm going to do a violet eye color. There's no real downside to trying this, because if it doesn't work, you just hit it with the black gray, and no harm, no foul. So, but I'm going to try to make like bigger anime looking eyes here for IUB. And I guess she's supposed to be looking off to one side based on the artwork. So we'll try to do that. That'll give her a little more character. Yeah, no one sees that. In fact, that's not good. That did not work. It might work if I get it to stay in one place. If I do this. No, it's not. No, that didn't work too well. It worked okay. It actually didn't work poorly. It just didn't work that well. I'm going to give myself a little bit more white. Yeah. Let's so I think we're going to stick with just classic black and white for the eyes. Because so I've been a bit on a painting. I've been in a painting rut recently. Somebody asked me, how many hours a week do you paint? And I said, well, typically I paint 12 hours a week, 2 to 3 hours per night. And if it's 3 to 4 nights per week at 3 to 4 hours, that's 12 hours a week. But I've cut down quite a bit. So I'm down to like 8 hours of painting per week. And it's part of it's because I'm bouncing around some weird kind of grueling projects like Ninja All-Stars, and side painting stuff like this that I'm just doing for fun. And the other part of it is just a lot of real life stuff. So, you know, a lot of, I've been coming home and working from working longer hours and extra days and stuff at work. And so I've just become too tired to paint in some cases. So that's another big part of this. So I've cut down a bit. It's not the end of the world. It makes me a little bit sad, but it's okay. So if I do that, she does kind of have like the bug eyes right now. But frankly, that's kind of the way she was sculpted. And I can try to correct for it some. But she does have some big bug eyes. And I've been, you know, the other thing too is I've been in more of a play mood than a paint mood. You know, I like to say that I run a really good balance between in the hobby for being a painter and a player. But even though that's true, or I consider that true, well, is it really not even going to try to focus? Or there it goes. Even if when I try not to, even despite me trying to be fairly balanced, I'll still have tendencies to do more playing in spots and more painting in other spots. So right now I'm in a more play spot, whereas late last year I was definitely in more of a paint spot. Right now, for sure, the play spot. You know, Guild Ball is like a current obsession of mine. So I'm trying to get in as many games of Guild Ball as I can. And also Wrath of Kings and this game, Relic Knights. I'd say those are my big 3 games right now. Guild Ball, Wrath of Kings, Relic Knights. And it's a pretty good combo of games. You get a fantasy sort of larger scale skirmish game that's more based on, you know, standard eliminating of models. Then you get Relic Knights, which is just an altogether different kind of sci-fi card-based game. And then you have, and then finally you have Guild Ball, which is just a fantastic, precise, competitive sports game. Yeah, these eyes are still too big. I'm trying to trim them. I'll trim them down a little bit. I'm going to shape the eyes, make them a little bit smaller. All right, so now it's time to paint up some highlights, shape that face. So here's the eyes. You can see they still are gigantic on the model. Just worried. So we'll do that. So we're going to start back with heavy skin tone again. Do you modify or convert any of your models, add wings or different weapons? Every once in a while, I will. I'm working on a conversion for Relic Knights that I don't want to discuss on air because I think it's too cool, and I kind of just want to hit you with it when it's ready. And then, obviously, I like to bring in other models and modify them for other games. Notably Takahashi, that's my favorite. Takahashi University. Love to. I need more of those models, and I want to be able to field them in a number of different game systems. So there's that. Okay. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to shape these eyes. And I'm going to try to bring them down to a more natural size. Oh, a little too much. A little too much shaping right there. A little too much shaping of the eye right there. So I'm going to have to bring it back. Okay, so we're going to bring the shape back to that eye. And we'll continue. There we go. Man, I'm having some problems here. The eyes are a weird shape. There we go. That worked out pretty well. And over on this side, do the same. Okay, so now, time to reshape again. Got to get the faces right, guys. If you don't get the face right, forget it. At least that's my attitude towards this kind of stuff. If you don't get the face right, start over until you're happy with the face. When you're happy with the face, it's going to allow you to much more freedom and much more leeway with the rest of the model. That's much better. All right. So I'll show you that. Okay, much better. Much better. All right. So now, let's continue with the highlights. This time we're going to go in with glaze medium. Like so. We're going to take some of that mixture of deep skin tone, mix that in. And then we're going to add a little bit of light flesh to this. Actually, what am I saying? We're going to add a lot of light flesh to this. And some water. Mix it up. All right, so this is a good, that's about the right base color that I want right there. You can see how super, super light I'm going with this. This chick is a robot, so her skin is going to be like perfectly skin tone, like plasticky skin tone. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm making a kind of a plasticky skin tone for her skin. Okay. And we're going to just highlight. Pretty cool. Been so quiet. Not a lot of viewers on tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's a busy night for people. Maybe they're out gaming. Maybe they're out watching movies or something. That'd be cool. You know, as a father of a toddler, I just don't get to go to the movies anymore, so you guys are going to have to educate me on the movies. But I'm going to complain a little bit about movies tonight because no one's talking, and let's just ramble about stuff, right? I mean, I could talk about Guild Ball, but it seems it's kind of a conversation we can have all the time. I love talking about Guild Ball. But let me talk to you about the movies that I'm not watching, that I'm catching on, you know, on cable, that I missed all of last year, and a little bit from this year, obviously. So I haven't seen Deadpool yet, right? Just recently, Avengers: Age of Ultron made it onto cable, and I was watching that the other day. Now brace yourselves. You ready? You ready for this? I did not see what the big hype was over that movie. That was an okay film. That was all right. It never really grabbed me. I mean, it had some funny parts and whatever, but it never, I don't know, it never really pulled me in. It never really bought me. It never really grabbed me. I just felt, yeah, okay, character, funny character, weird character, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know, it just seemed kind of average to me. It seemed like an average movie. And the fact that people were ranting and raving about how good it was kind of scares me, because it's like, man, if this is the good superhero movie, do I really want to see the mediocre or bad superhero movies, right? So I thought that movie was okay. Nothing great. Nothing. I wasn't too excited about anything there. Then Avengers: Age of Ultron came on, and I haven't watched. To be fair, I haven't watched the entire movie yet, but I was watching the first part of it, and I was like, this the whole banter while they're fighting the other, they're taking down the bad guy army in the beginning of the movie. I was like, wow, like what little kid is writing this garbage? It's not. It's supposed to be like playful banter between the characters, and you're like, oh, isn't that funny? It captures language and all this other stuff, and there's witticism, but I thought it was dumb. I thought it was juvenile. I don't know. I thought it was silly. I thought it was not good, and then Ultron came on, and my biggest gripe with Avengers: Age of Ultron was, holy shit, did they just get those characters so wrong with Scarlet Witch and especially Quicksilver. Wow, I was super disappointed in that. And I thought this movie was supposed to be it was like, oh, it's such a good superhero movie. I was like, this movie has trite writing. The characters are getting annoying and really tropey. And just not in, like, it just wasn't, it didn't do anything for me. And I was like, I felt kind of bad. Like, am I doing it wrong? These Quicksilver in the X-Men Days of Future Past was such a cool character, and is Magneto's kid, and all that other stuff. And I thought Age of Ultron was like directed by an idiot, like somebody who had a cursory understanding of comic books, but just didn't know how to make anything interesting. Everything seemed really safe. It was like, here, it's just it was like going out for your favorite burrito and having nothing but having it just drenched in mild sauce. I don't know, if you don't like my commentary on Avengers: Age of Ultron, if you're like a big fan of that movie, hit thumbs down. Thumbs down my video. It's cool. Yeah, I thought painfully overrated. Not interested in the characters. Super disappointed in Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Wow, I was just so thoroughly underwhelmed by that movie. I just didn't think it was good. Didn't think that the superhero movies were, the big superhero blockbusters were very good. Then again, let me preface this by saying I didn't think most of those superhero blockbuster movies were very good, going all the way to, Sam Raimi Spider-Man and all that stuff. I never thought they were very good. I thought Tim Burton Batman was okay. I thought Christian Bale Batman was okay. But none of these really did anything for me. None of these movies are really doing anything for me. And Age of Ultron, wow, what a colossal waste of money and talent on the actors, on the effects and all that stuff. It was, it was like I was watching maybe a half step better than Michael Bay on that stuff. Did not think it was very good. My only hope at this point is Deadpool. My only hope for a superhero movie is Deadpool. And from what I hear, it should be nice and offensive and gritty and should really capture the essence of that character. By the way, I did like the very first Iron Man movie because I love Robert Downey as Tony Stark. I think he's fantastic as Tony Stark, and even in the Avengers movies, he's a great Tony Stark. I just think they just can't put together a solid movie there. My favorite part of Age of Ultron so far, and I haven't seen the whole thing, like I said, haven't seen the whole thing. My favorite part so far was Iron Man needing to calm down Hulk and using the Hulk busting armor. That was my favorite part. I was like, okay, that part was almost as good as Roddy Piper beating up his friend in They Live, to force him to look through the glasses. That was one of my favorite good versus good guy fights in the movies I've ever seen. And so trying to calm Hulk down came close. It came close to that. But man, what a colossal annoyance of a movie. When they spent the time trying to characterize Black Widow and Hulk and that whole, trying to make a little romance there. Wow, that was incredibly bad. That was incredibly juvenile. I don't know. Incredibly juvenile, says the guy painting the, robot rocker girl. Especially right now, I'm painting the booty, That's what I say. Incredibly juvenile. So, I want to go see Deadpool. Anyway, it's the only superhero movie that looks remotely interesting to me. I'm sick and tired of this apologetic crap or trying to make everything palatable to a general audience. We meaning us old guys, and I'm going to get surly old guy on you guys, grew up in an age when these comic book characters, when these heroes, we were derided for enjoying these types of heroes. And the stories were unapologetically adult and gritty and real. And the characterization was beautiful. There is a beauty to the rawness of these characters, to the flaws of these characters, to their personal issues. And the way that they're depicted in Avengers is just, it's what I'm looking for. It's just so dumbed down. It's just so watered down that I can't take it seriously. I can't like the characters. And the scripts are dumb. Man, just don't think these. So I hope Deadpool proves that you're going to put together successful comic book movies. You don't have to ruin the characters. You don't have to apologize for how gritty these comic books were. Just because these mainstream assholes didn't read them when we read them, and they made fun of us for reading them, and now they're trying to read them, and we're trying to make them, sanitary for a mainstream audience. It's stupid. These assholes want to be, they want to be nerdy or geeky or trendy or whatever, then they got to fucking like the shit that we had that made that stuff cool at the time, right? Don't, man. I sound like a hardcore, music fan that's saying that my favorite bands have all sold out. That is what I sound like, right? I'm sure that's how I come off. But seriously, it's cool that people know who Deadpool is. It's cool that people know who the Avengers are. It was a dream come true in a way when we were kids and saying, wow, what if Marvel made movies and they interconnected their movies the way their comic book universe is interconnected. They did all that. They just did it in such an antiseptic way that I feel it's lost a step. It's lost. It went from great stories to, nice special effects with mediocre directing and writing. Decent acting, I should point out. These actors are pretty good at playing their superhero roles. So that's my rant. I thought Avengers Age of Ultron sucked. I still haven't even seen Star Wars. I know you guys are going to gasp and shock horror and all that stuff. I'm not that interested in watching Star Wars, and I consider myself a Star Wars fan. You want to know what it is? I don't think they got The bad guy's right. Again, this is my biggest complaint with modern day movies. They don't take the time, with some notable exceptions. These movies don't understand. My feed like chopping up. Okay. These movies don't understand that the bad guys often make the movie. That James Bond, Batman, all that stuff, you know what made them good? The bad guys. The bad guys made them good. A good selection of bad guys, good acting, good character portrayal, good casting of bad guys makes those good. What made Star Wars good for me? The original trilogy? Darth frickin' Vader. What did they ruin in the trilogy? Darth frickin' Vader. When they don't have the bad guy right, it sucks. And I don't think they have the bad guy right, again, in The Force Awakens. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. Kylo Ren, really? That guy? You're supposed to be afraid of that guy? That guy looks like an idiot. He's got that crap monotone voice. I mean, he looks... When they do those online, those internet memes of him looking like Grandma's boy, yeah, that's exactly what he looks like, Grandma's boy. All right, let's do some flesh wash. So I'm gonna use P3 flesh wash. Thin it down with just a little bit of water. So these are glazes. I actually need them to dry for a minute. Let me see if I can actually get that. So you can see really, really fair skin. Really, really fair skin. All right. But Tori likes Star Wars, period. Fair enough, Tori. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bash Star Wars. I'm really not. I just think they missed the boat again. Like, how are you going to follow up with a character so great as Darth Vader? How are you going to do that? You're going to give me, you know, Han Solo's he gets defeated? Or, wow, that guy's totally in charge of this situation? I don't care what kind of force manipulation he has. I'm not impressed. I don't... The character sucks. Like, I'm not... The character design, I should say. You know, maybe the actor does a great job. Maybe with the space that he's provided, he does a great job. But it's not... He's not the kind of bad guy that we're going to remember and get behind. And I get maybe that's not the point of The Force Awakens. It's like, okay, well, you know, they try to blur the lines between good guys and bad guys and all that stuff, and that's cool. But for me, I'm a bad guy. I'm a villainophile. I want to know. The villain is the most important factor in these, like, good versus evil, these conflict-based movies. I want a bad guy that can capture the scene and make me say, "Holy shit, we're in trouble now. That's not good. You know, what are we gonna do about this guy? This guy just gives 0 Fs, and he's just gonna do whatever the hell he wants, and there's nothing we can do about it." That's what I want to see. Thinks Mark Hamill is an excellent Joker voice. Thinks Jack Nicholson did a great Joker. Yeah, No, gonna agree, Tori. I'm gonna agree on both of those counts. Fantastic. Quit trying to sell toys and make R-rated movies with good scripts. Agreed. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's great that they're making these movies. It's great that these movies are making money, and they're family movies. And you know, when my kid's old enough to sit down and watch a movie, I'm gonna be fairly stoked on it. But for me personally, I feel like we've given up something. When I was a kid, here we go. When I was a kid, and you know, I wanted to watch a good superhero movie, a good sci-fi movie. They didn't write those movies for me. They didn't. They didn't write Christopher Reeve's Superman, at least not the first two. They didn't write those with kids in mind. They didn't write Conan with kids in mind. They didn't do even the animated Lord of the Rings. That wasn't for kids. Those are adult cartoons. And you know what? Those are freaking beautiful. Look at Conan the Barbarian. Look at that. Was that movie made for kids? No, that was a fantasy freaking epic, and it was badass. And then what did they do? They did the second Conan movie. Oh, let's put Wilt Chamberlain in it. Let's make it more for kids. And it sucked. It sucked, sucked, sucked. Stop trying to write for kids. Kids are much smarter than you think, especially fans of science fiction and fantasy. Child fans of science fiction and fantasy are advanced kids, at least in that degree. They can take a rough story, they can take a gritty storyline, and their parents are guys like me that understand that these were the stuff I loved as a kid was intended for adults. But I loved it and I could follow along. I had to explain Dune to my older cousin. I was 11 when Dune came out. She was 18. I explained to her in the theater what was going on. We're not idiots, Hollywood. Stop writing crap, safe crap for families. Give us more Deadpool. You know who's going to go watch Deadpool? A bunch of kids are going to go watch Deadpool. A bunch of kids are going to watch Deadpool, and their parents are going to take them to see Deadpool because their parents are like me. That's like, you know what? My kid's old enough, he's mature enough, and he's going to enjoy this movie. And we're going to, you know, he may have some questions about some language or some maybe questionable, more adult themes. I'm okay explaining that. My parents were, you know, were very okay showing me sexual type content as a kid because it's like, this is natural, and they're gonna and we're gonna experience that in later on in life. No, we're not gonna experience this. Here's the thing that, you know, this is more like Western American culture, and this is where we diverge. Is, you know, Western American culture in the middle of the day on primetime TV. You can have, you know, zombies eating a person alive, tearing them bit to bit, and, you know, shooting them up with guns and all this stuff. You can have that, but you can't have, you know, two adults that you know, that are affectionate and, you know, want to show each other in that adult way. Now, maybe my views here are a little more common in, you know, in areas of the world like Europe or say Latin America, when it's okay, where it's like, you know, kids are gonna understand that. They're gonna see that. They're gonna see sexuality in their lives, and they're gonna, you know, hopefully have healthy attitudes towards it. We're not gonna have healthy attitudes towards this stuff if we just constantly taboo it. That's my strong opinion. That's my strong opinion, and that's why I will paint this shit all day of the week, and I don't give a F. No, I don't give a fuck who tells me that, you know, it's perverted or wrong or weird. I don't care. This is fantasy. This is dope. I don't care. Okay? Not going to apologize for liking it. So, but yeah, that's how I feel. I don't feel that when you make stuff taboo, you give it power. And especially for little kids, if you're going to sexualize, if you're going to make sexual stuff more powerful than actual like physical violence and damage and hurting people, I think it's backwards. Sorry, not sorry. I say that a lot on this show. Sorry, not sorry. I don't apologize. That's just where my morals sit. You don't have to agree with me. We can paint the freaking miniatures. It's not a big deal. Let's see. Love Dune. R.I.P. Yeah, want to see villain versus villain. Yeah, villain versus villain is great. If they're good, if they're two great villains, fantastic. R.I.P. Chris Reeves. Yeah, sad. Comes down to script, and script. Oh, not just script though, David. I would also say like the perfect casting of your bad guy is super important. Getting that person to actually be able to fill the role of the bad guy is critical, I think. Dune, yes, Dune is rad. The expanded universe of Star Wars, Leia and Han had 3 children: Jaina, Jason, and Anakin Solo. No Kylo Ren. Troy Press, I actually like both original Conan movies. Never realized one was rated R and the other PG until you mentioned it. Yeah. The second movie, there was a really cool scene with Mako in the second movie. I love Mako, by the way. He's amazing in anything. But the second movie could have been so much cooler if they kept that adult theme. I honestly believe that. I think it would have been a much better movie had they, instead of kind of infantilizing it, kept Conan as gritty and as raw as it should be, in my opinion. But I know, what do I know? I mean, those movies didn't gross nearly as much as modern day superhero or sci-fi or anything like that. So, these quote-unquote wrong Hollywood types are laughing all the way to the bank. Sure. I'm just talking for me, what I would like to see and what I would hope we could get for some of these things. It's fantastic. It is fantastic that there's an Avengers movie. It's fantastic that we're going to see, some Civil War stuff, that Spider-Man is connected to these movies, that's great. All that stuff is awesome. It really is. I don't know. I'm still severely disappointed in Age of Ultron. And to a lesser extent, Guardians of the Galaxy was decent. It just wasn't as mind-blowing as the internet might lead me to believe. It just seemed like, I don't know. Here's me romanticizing my period of movies and entertainment and TV, but I was like, seemed like they could have just made that movie in the 80s, and that would have been in the 80s when that might have been considered a more mediocre movie. They're revisiting Mrs. Doubtfire, which is I think that's a shame. Just because, how are you going to replace Robin Williams? That's dumb. Why do they have to keep rehashing stuff? If they're gonna, I always say, if you're gonna rehash stuff, take bad movies. Take the bad movies and try to make them better. There's plenty of bad movies. Rehashing a good movie means you're just kind of screwing with someone's fondness for that movie. I know they threatened to redo Goonies a couple times, and I've almost lost my shit. Because I freaking love Goonies. By the way, Troy, if you're on this feed, did you sign up for Guild Ball at Kingdom Con? That's what I want to know. Because that just sold out today. We just sold out all our tickets for Guild Ball at KC. And now we have to make a decision. Are we going to do a reserve list? Are we going to try to expand the event? I don't know yet. And if you're not playing Guild Ball, why not? Yeah, Guild Ball, dude. That game has reawoken some stuff in me. Some stuff as a player I didn't think existed in me anymore. Enjoying a precise, tight rule set, playing a little more intensively, competitively. The game is built for it. The game does the game captures the spirit of what they want to do with War Machine, but but totally one ups it and puts it in a more suitable atmosphere, right? When you look at competitive War Mahords, they try to treat it like sport, and in a lot of ways, it is like sport. But in Guild Ball, it is literally sport. So, so even the most casual guys understand, oh no, Guild Ball, people are going to play it like sport. People are going to approach it like sport, and it's going to be rad. And yeah, you are going to want that last 1% when you're playing. You are going to want it to do well and study up and play your tactics and get better at it. And I haven't had that feeling in a long time with these miniature games. Like, even my favorite game, still Relic Knights, I love playing it, and I like being good at it, but I'm not, like, driven to, like, really, really excel in it. I'm happy with Relic Knights because for what it is, and I love the system, and I think the theme is just off the charts. I absolutely love it. I love that I'm done in an hour. I get a good tactical experience in an hour or less. Guild Ball is like a game to study. It's like a game to get behind, and like I was saying before, every turn in your sports game is like solving a puzzle. It's just food for your brain while you're playing these games. Same with Relic Knights, but it definitely scratches a different itch. Yeah. Relic Knights gives you plenty of food for thought, but it's different. It's like Relic Knights, you color outside the lines. In Guild Ball, you figure out how the lines work for you. And they're two different skill sets, and I love it. I love playing both games. Not sure if I'm going to be making Kingdom Con this year. We'll try to make it back next year, though, hopefully with more experience in Guild Ball than I have now. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Without giving too much away, come to Kingdom Con 2017, sign up for Guild Ball. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Because this year the seed has been planted. Next year could be big, big things for Guild Ball. And man, I am freaking loving that game. I'm really loving that game. Still wants to play more Arcade. Me too. Arcade, you saw the release stuff. They're trying to bring it back, and there's going to be hopefully some excitement around it. I'm still going to play it. I don't care if there's 2 people in all of Orange County playing Relic Knights. I'm still going to play it. Absolutely love the game. And we'll continue to play it. Okay, so here we go. It's looking pretty good. Her skin color kind of washes out with my hand as the background. But you get what I'm doing here. Okay. So now we're just about ready to move it along. All right. Let's see. Oh, that's all you're going to say, North Side? What's up? Oh, shoot. You know what? I forgot to spray the weird water as part of the stand, but no biggie. Let's see. In fact, I might order my Guild Ball stuff tonight. Yeah, man. Troy, you have the only current Guild Ball carrying store in California is in Santa Clara, so it's closer to you than it is to me. But we've already had a shop in Orange County and one in San Diego that's ordering Guild Ball, so I think we're going to be good to go there. All right, let's see what we got. So let's look at some studio art real quick. So there's not a whole lot you see on the model. It looks like her dress is pink, and she's got pink hair, and she's got, I'm gonna say, like, she's got white stockings on and a white shirt. I don't know if that's really, I think that's going to be a little too washed out. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to go with a gray, like a gray shirt. And we're going to go with a blue skirt and blue, she can have like blue shoes. I don't know if it's Game Castle, I don't know. I don't remember the name of the store. So let's do that. Let's do gray, gray, blue. So she's gonna be blue, gray, and then I'm gonna stick with the pink hair. And then I don't know what color I'm gonna make treble there. Treble is kind of like a weird purple color. So I'll try to do that. I guess treble will be purple. Okay, let's get going. So we're gonna go medium blue, and the other main color we're gonna do, do we want to do gray or violet? Or even like a yellow? No, I don't want to do yellow. I want to do gray. Oh, hold on. I got a lot of other colors here I could be using that would probably look pretty cool. So too much blue all at once. Yeah, I guess dark gray. Like a gray. We'll do like a, that's not, I don't want to do basalt. I want to do like a neutral gray. I'll do like neutral gray on the blouse. All right. First things first, let's do the blue. And now that the skin is done, we can mount the miniature on one of these. She's looking pretty cool, actually. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay. So we're going to do blue. So her skirt's going to be blue. And the panty is going to be blue. And maybe the wrap around her neck can be blue also. And the shoes. Okay. Whoa. You can kind of see the blue from there. Nice thing about this medium blue is it's very easy to shade and highlight. You don't have to do too much to it to actually get it to pop and give you depth and so forth. Maybe the skirt should be pink and just the undies should be blue. Maybe. What do you guys think? Or should the whole skirt be pink too? I mean blue. Maybe just the panties are blue. No. Let's do the whole thing. Or, well, I could also do the whole blouse blue, like that. If I did the blouse blue and the panties blue and the shoes blue, I think we'd be okay. And the rest of it could be pink or whatever color we want to run. I think that would be okay. Let's do it that way. That way I don't have to do a gray. Because frankly, I don't think that gray is very good, even though it's a good complementary color to the blue. Yeah, I don't know what color. Maybe the skirt's white. Could do that. We could do like glacial blue on the skirt. How's your boy doing? He's doing okay. You probably saw the posts about him being sick. He's got the little croup, the cough. He's doing okay. We're just hoping his appetite bounces back, because he's still, he's eating, but it's not. You can tell his appetite is down, and he's not the biggest kid, so I'll try to keep him well fed. But thank you for asking. Yeah, so we're going blue. There you go. I'm liking this quite a bit. It's blue color. There, it's starting to pop a little bit. We're gonna go blue shoes. Oh, I totally missing out here on this flesh color. Oh no, that's supposed to be, her socks are gonna be, she's gonna have like a white stocking on one side there. So I just have to worry about the blue shoe. In fact, I may make her, like, all her bracelets and stuff blue. Just because I think that'll... I have been really preferring tighter color palettes. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to do a blue strap. Whoa. And that got away from me. This model is very dainty. Yeah. So even like this strap here on the leg, I'm going to paint it blue too. There you go. Starting to look better. And so do this strap blue. Just really dainty miniature. I think I'm going to end up painting the whole thing with my little fine detail brush. Really cool mini though. This could be, because she's on a 40, I could use her as brick on my Masons team. I want to do like a whole gender bend Masons team for Guild Ball using this and Takawashi miniatures. So I have the whole, like, I have a Japanese schoolgirl variant for my Masons. I might have pointed that out on this show a few times. It is because I do think it is quite a cool idea. So there's that. Let's paint her gloves blue. Suddenly there's a lot of blue bits on this model. I'm not sure what color the guitar is going to be. Maybe a violet wash on the guitar. There we go. And blue on the other shoe. So he'll be purple, blue, blue, blue. I don't know. I guess pink is okay for the skirt. I can do pink for the skirt and the hair. Let's do that. Now that I have the blue down just about everywhere. No, let's do pink. We do green also. Green is not a bad thought. Green is not a bad thought. No, let's do pink. Okay. All right. It's actually pretty good. This, like, blue violet, it's a good undertone for the pink. Or no, actually, no, more like Warlock. This is a great undertone for the pink. Warlord purple. Let's do that. Just flat out a good color. It's a fun color. It's a little glossy. My only misgiving with this color. So you don't want to over thin it because it is really glossy. All right. But wow, what a fun bright color. That's a neat color. Do you guys have any thoughts on what color the skirt should be? Let me know. Could do a black skirt. Would not be opposed to that. And she has like some headphones back here, which could be like a non-metallic gold. Starting to see the detail on the face a little bit better now. And that's pretty cool. And for now, I'm going to paint Treble this color, because I could always come back and fix him with a different color. But for now, let's paint him. I'm just going to paint him entirely that color. And then we'll let that dry and I'll deal with it. Okay. Good. So plenty of activity around IU Beat right now. It's cool. Really, really looking forward to the RK 1.5. Okay. So far, so good. Blue with black stripes, kind of like sports shorts. This is a really tiny skirt. I don't know. So here's the skirt. Yeah. What do you guys think? Maybe a pink skirt, like an actually unapologetically pink skirt would work. Although her hair is already kind of that color. But something kind of floofy or rosy would be good. Maybe a violet. I'm trying to imagine a violet skirt. I think white would be cool. Let's do white. Let's just do white. Let's do a white skirt. So just glacial blue and white. I might wash it with something, but we'll see. And if this doesn't look good, I can always come back and fix it. There's that. See, yeah, it's already better, I think, as a white skirt. Already much better as a white skirt. There you go. Okay. I think I'm gonna finish. The back of the head's really bothering me. It's actually supposed to be like kind of a weird silvery metallic back there, but I'm just gonna paint it in this color because it's bothering me. I'd rather it match the hair. And just sort of blend in. There you go. There, now she's really starting to take a little shape here. Starting to look pretty cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, right? I think she's pretty cool so far. Let's do some of the wiring in blue. Just like that. Let's give the axe a little bit of a tinge. So I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to make a violet. I'm going to do blue, but I think, well, blue wouldn't be bad. I think violet would look cooler, though. Let's take some violet ink. And just thin it down with the glaze. Like really thin it down with the glaze. Like 1 drop to like 6 drops of glaze medium. Just a tad of water. Doesn't need much. Mix it up. So I'm making that here. So I'm using this as a tint. Like a tint glaze. So this should be pretty cool. All right. It's going to give it's going to give the guitar, the little axy guitar there, a little more interest. See, so I take that and just run that pretty much over the whole thing. And just let the purple do what it's going to do. Right? It's going to shade the model and give it this really cool kind of tinge. There's a little hole in the guitar and glaze kind of stretched across there. There you go. There, it's pretty cool. Look at that. Got a little bit of that purple tinge to it. All right, now let's start highlighting stuff. The blue already looks pretty good. All I really want to do is wash the blue. There's not a whole lot to do there. Let's do the hair. So I need pink. So we're going to go squid pink. Just a little tiny little drop of it, because we don't need much. And we're going to use this. We're going to highlight the hair. So I'm kind of doing more of an overbrush. Just getting the primary color pink down. And it's so thin it'll start to blend in. So you can see that the highlight building up to pink at the ends of the pigtails and at the front of the hair. There you go. There we go. So now I've got like cotton candy pink hair, which is cool. It's kind of like Gem and the Holograms. Okay, there we go. And let's do a little bit on treble here. I'll use a wash to kind of calm down the hair a little bit. In fact, I can use the same wash I used on the axe. Okay, looking pretty good. Actually looking quite good. Let's do white. Finish up that skirt. I'm just gonna highlight that. You know what? I forgot that I needed to do the stocking on her foot too. So since I've got glacial blue out and white, let's do that. Let's do her stocking. Been a super fun model to paint. Putting it together sucked, as you guys saw last week. All the pinning and whatnot. Once she's together though, pretty damn cool mini. Okay, there we go. Make sure I'm all the way across there. Good, good, good. Looking good. All right, let's get some of this black gray down. No, that's neutral gray. Oops, that's black gray. It's okay if I have a little bit of neutral gray in there. So you have to wash the whole, like most of the base with a black wash. But it does look quite cool. So I'm just gonna run that in there. See that? Just painting that in. There we go. And paint some of those wires in there. You can even paint this. Like that. Okay. Just for fun, let's get a little bit of, oh wait. treble, base coated. So treble is kind of gray in color, and he has headphones just like IU Beat has. So without spending too much time on this guy, I'll do a real basic highlight wash, and then done with him. Because he's just like window dressing for her. So I don't really care what people think of him, as long as her, the model, is cool. So all this new stuff out, like for beginning painters, it's making me kind of recall my earliest days painting. I just zoned out. Think I'm going to step away from the computer, lay down, sleep. If I sleep and catch some rest, busy day tomorrow. Got to move things outside. Okay, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, Tori. Okay. There. There we go. Neutral gray on Mr. Treble. Let's get a little bit of red. And I mean just a little bit of red, right? I'm going to do some of these wires in red. Like that. Okay. Also going to paint in the water. Make it kind of a murky, weird blue-green water. Okay. Let's add a little bit of highlight to the blue. Just going to go up a color in the regular medium blue. And just do some highlighting. Not quite. It's not a huge color jump, but maybe enough. Kind of a cool color. All right. Pretty good. Let's get some of this purple washy wash into the hair. Give the hair a little character. There we go. Real simple. Not doing anything like crazy on this model. It's a good sculpt, and she'll take care of it. I mean, she's just going to be a good. It's just going to be a good thing. Okay, so a couple more spots for the white. So now I need black. I need a black ink wash. Black ink wash. This should look pretty good. I'm already pretty much liking it. There's that bottle there I have to deal with. I'm going to go ahead and base coat that right now. See that little soda? There's a little soda pop bottle right there. Gotta paint that in. So I'm just going to paint it glacial white for now. And then we're going to make it look like glass by using like use a ghost tint on it or an ink. It could look like a bottle of soda right there. Okay. Let that dry for now. I'm going to get a little black ink, the black ink wash, and we're going to let that run on parts of this model. See, and what that's doing is that's going to allow us to differentiate between the speaker and the stone base. Okay, so that's definitely the speaker there. Everything in black. And I'm going to do the other part of the speaker. Okay. There we go. I'm actually going to hit treble with a bit of this just to give him the shadow he needs for him to pop. I think he's in good shape. There we go. All right, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. You know what? I want the skirt to pop a little bit too. First, let me let's paint in her wrist bands. Just like these spiky wristbands that she wears. And then on this side, it looks like she wears a whole like gauntlet. So let's get that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, and this, hit in there. And now let's get the nice. That's what I wanted. And that skirt to pop just like that. Okay. So now you have lots of cool stuff going on with this model. Okay. I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty well happy with this. Okay. Couple things to do. Oh. Whoa. That didn't work out so well. I need to get that soda can. Or soda bottle. Just get a little. Just paint it white and hit it with a little ink. There you go. Okay. Soda bottle. You can paint the label and all that stuff if you wanted to. So now we want to highlight the water part. And I would actually highlight using one of my favorites, Verdigris. And go Verdigris and white. And just pick out the high points on the water. Like that. If you want the little bit of a glow effect, take some of the darker color and just highlight on top of the step. That's what you really need to do. Okay. This is all real basic stuff. Now finally, second highlight on the water. Just like a really, really fine white highlight. That's just gonna give us a little more depth and coloration in the water. Here we go. Okay. Anything missing at this point? I don't think so. I don't really see much missing. I can even take a little bit of this white and just give it an edge highlight on the axe. All right, looking pretty good. X is done. All right. I think we are just about done. I think that's looking pretty good. Let's put the black in the actual, just regular old black. Here's my regular black. I'll be looking forward to playing this character now that I have a painted one. I never really, I mean, I thought she was cool. Her stats are cool. A little slow, but good hard-hitting model. Esper efficient. So good combat model. I don't run a lot of combat models, but at that 11-point slot, this is a drop-in for like a Rin Farah or, you know, who else is it sits at 11 points? Oh, what's his name? Tugan and Cecilia. Or is that 10-point model? I forget. But yeah, you have potential here with this model. Okay. Really had a lot of fun painting this guy, though. And really, with all the glazes I used, it's going to take a while to dry, so yeah, there's still stuff you can do, or I can do, when she's dry again, but I don't know how much I'm actually going to do, because I'm pretty happy with the job. You know, and that's all that really matters. If you're happy with, you yourself are happy with the paint job, you paint until you're done. That's what I say. You paint until you stop, and when you're done painting a miniature, you're done painting it. And even if there are some things that you can do, and there always is something else you can do to make the model just look a little bit better. And it's great when people do that, but there's also a realistic time component to doing this. And if you want to get projects done, you do have to set for yourself a hard stop or a hard limit on what you're going to invest time-wise and money-wise on getting a particular miniature done. Okay, let's let her dry for a little bit, because I want to see how she is looking. I think she's looking pretty cool, but let's let her dry. Let's find out what we like, what we don't like about her. Get the palette out of here. Okay. So yeah, here she is. Whoa, I would love it if here. Just needed to. Yeah, I needed to sharpen up a little bit. But there, you can kind of make out what she looks like while this stuff is drying. Pretty simple job. You saw I didn't really do anything terribly mind-blowing on her. There she is. She's gonna be awesome, though. I'm just happy that this model's done and I can now field it. And it has 1 billion pins in it, as you guys saw from last week. When I say 1 billion, I mean like 7. I think this model has 7 pins in it. So that's cool. Oh man. So I think with that, we're gonna call it. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you have any other comments or anything, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you read this, if you watched this while you were painting. you know, do you think I'm out of line with regards to? I just feel that the modern like blockbuster superhero movies are hella. They're just crazy overrated. I don't like how they can't. It seems like in modern movies they just can't do the bad guy correctly. And for me, the bad guy is such a big part of the movie that the book, the whatever, that if you can't get the bad guy done, if you can't do the bad guy right, who cares? Who cares? Seriously. You have a good hero, whatever. But if you have an underwhelming bad guy, if you don't have a bad guy that, in my opinion, the bad guy is the main character. Like he or she needs to steal every scene they're in. There's got to be a part of you that goes, man, I kind of wish I could be like that. That's a great bad guy. So whatever. But anyway, let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Maybe I'm out of line. Maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe I'm just an old guy that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and, you know, all that stuff. But I do have an opinion, and hey, we're painting, and we need stuff to talk about. So that's going to do it. Look at you. Axe. That's going to do it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching. Have a good night, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.